love. All the different qualifications of love, lovely, beautiful ones, were given. I heard loads of it. I'm sure you all would have heard loads of it also. But how do we get to the point of fear, which breeds hatred and many different negative actions? And how do we get to love, where we share compassion, unparalleled compassion, constructive empathy, support, and all the rest of the good things you all know about love? How do we get there? Well, let me now tie it together for you. If you invest your resources, and by resources, I mean everything you have, including your emotions, your thought, your feelings, your time, your money, whatever it is, if you invest in your resources in perception, and don't forget, knowledge of yesterday that is not updated becomes perception, because it's still from your senses, right? If you invest your resources in perception, you will find that most of the time, if not all the time, you will be ruled and you will be using tolerance as a long-term tool rather than a short-term tool to deal with unpleasant situations. Again, remember what I said about using tolerance as a long-term tool? You will become a ticking time bomb that even you will not know when you would explode and what the magnitude of that explosion will be. This is why you will hear some people say things like, you know what, I can't take it anymore. I'm fed up. I'm tired of it. It's because they've been using tolerance as a long-term tool for unpleasant situations. And you see, when you use tolerance as a long-term tool for unpleasant situations, you will be most definitely almost ruled by fear. You will always be afraid one thing is about to happen or will happen or whatever, and all of those kind of things. Now, don't forget, this is also the way trauma kind of affects those that have been traumatized by one thing or the other, who are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder or even complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Something triggers them, something triggers their trauma, then they have the perception that something is happening, but then they try to tolerate that thought or that feeling, like, okay, maybe it's just me and all of that. Then something else happens again and then blows it out of proportion. They can't take it anymore. Then they start getting afraid that, okay, this thing is going to happen again. And then their reaction is what we see, and then call different things like, this person is a horrible person, this person is a bad person, this person is this person is that. If you invest your resources in perception, you will only be able to use tolerance as a long-term tool rather than a short-term tool for unpleasant situations. When you do that, you are most likely going to be ruled often by fear. And fear leads to hatred, leads to prejudice, bias, and all the rest of the negative things you can think about. Now, I'm not saying fear is a bad thing altogether. I'm just saying that when you invest your resources in perception, which could be untrue, you will limit yourself to the ability to effectively use the tool of tolerance. And if you are ineffective in your ability to use tolerance as a tool correctly, you will be controlled more by fear, and then your actions will be usually based on nothing more than just what you think is going to happen, which may not be facts. Let's now go to the other side, the right side. So, when you have knowledge, in other words, you have facts and information which you acquired through education or experience, and they are updated, you will find that in that knowledge is already inbuilt understanding. You understand what that subject matter is about, how that thing came to be. You understand how this person feels and what is responsible for how they are behaving. So it's no wonder they say knowledge is power. The reason knowledge is power is because you feel empowered when you have knowledge, when you know how things work and you can just be doing it. It's like magic. When you know how things work and you make them work, it's like magic. You feel empowered. It increases your self-worth, your self-confidence. And where you already have self-worth and self-confidence, it sustains it. It sustains it. It makes it even better. Now, when you have that, you have knowledge, you have all of that, it's easier for you to be compassionate, to empathize constructively. It's easier for you to show love unconditionally because you understand what love is and how it works. You understand the impact it will make or give somebody else.